Hello and welcome to the sixth and final part of this tutorial. In this part we're going to continue modeling this part in here that we haven't finished in the previous part, and we're gonna finish our whole modeling of the weapon. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna go into edit mode right now, and I have some details in here to add. Okay, first I'm gonna add the loop cut in here, and so I don't need to add more loop cuts in here. I'm just gonna take this and grab it right here. Okay, and if you want, add another loop cut so we have this horizontal edge in here, yeah, something like that. Okay, grab these vertices, and as I was explaining in the last part, in the previous part, we're gonna use the vertex slide tool, which you can do by pressing G twice, or there's another shortcut which is Shift V, so you can do that with two hotkeys. Okay, so we're gonna take it in here so they will be at the same X location, or approximately at the same location. Okay, and now we're gonna extrude all of these faces. So into face select mode, we're gonna select all of these faces as well as the back ones, so on both sides, and extrude them, scale them along Y out just a little bit, something like that, and it extruded just fine. We don't need any other operations. If you think that's too much, scale it a little bit less, but I think that is just fine. Alright, now we have this thing in here which is going to be just a simple sphere, so add the UV sphere. Okay, before we scale it down, segments 16 with 16 will be okay. Alright, scale it down a lot, something like this. Also rotate along X 90 degrees. Place it in here. Okay, now I'm gonna press 3, and I will just delete half of it. So select the right side and delete vertices, something like that. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do this hole in the middle, so I select the middle vertex, delete it, select this loop in here, and you could make a face in there by pressing F and extrude, take it back a little or more by your preferences. Okay, now I'm gonna take this one out. Okay, so the placing is not so correct. I'm just gonna scale it down a little bit. I'll take it up and place it so it looks nice. Also, I'm gonna snap it in here so everything looks fine. If you want, maybe you could scale those down on all axes except the Y, so scale Shift Y. Okay, just a little bit, because then we would need another loop cut in here. So I guess this is okay. Alright, so now I'm gonna select it all, L in there, Shift D to duplicate it, right click. Alright, rotate along X 180 degrees and snap it. Yeah, first take it out and then snap it right at this vertex. So we have the same thing on the both sides. Alright, this part is pretty much done. Now we have these things in here and we're done. So first we see that edge that comes out, or yeah, how you call it. So I'm gonna add a horizontal loop cut in here. I'm just gonna extrude all of that out. Okay, and another loop cut in here. Good. Now into face select mode, box select, and select all of these faces in here on the both sides. Okay, extrude, yeah, extrude, scale them along Y, not so much, just a little bit. Okay, and that's the edge right in there. And now I need another object, which is this one, so I'm just gonna add a plane, rotate this plane 90 degrees along X axis. Okay, so first I need to snap it in here. Now I'm gonna do some scaling, scale along X. Also I'm gonna take these two vertices down. I'm gonna add a loop cut in here right in the middle, take these two down. Okay, so that is how it looks at the moment. Not that one, this one. Alright, and we need a little bit of depth in there, so I'm just gonna select it all and extrude it out, something like this. Good, now we have a bolt in there, or how you call it, so I'm just gonna do this using a previous how should I call it, way of doing this. I showed it in the previous parts of this tutorial. So I'm gonna extrude this whole face, scale it down. As you can see, this is what we've done. Okay, I'm gonna snap this vertex in here, scale it down along X, something like this. Okay, now I'm gonna delete this edge in here. Okay, so it seems I need to delete some of these faces so I get a clear view of what's in here. No, in fact, I think it extruded it nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna select this, fill up that face in there, and Shift Alt S to sphere, bring that all the way up. Okay, maybe I can subdivide this once and Shift Alt S again. Right now I'm gonna take this in here, and you want this to be quite large, so don't make it really small in there. Alright, and I'm gonna extrude this back a little bit, as you can see in there. So you make sure you don't come out with it. Now I'm gonna extrude it again, scale it down, extrude it again, and snap it back in here. Alright, so that's what we've done in there. Alright, I'm not gonna duplicate it and move it to this part yet, because I need to add some loop cuts in here after I add my subdivision surface. So I'm gonna do it after I add those loop cuts. Okay, now I need to go on the other side and see what I have in here, and I have my reference photo for that. Okay, so this is the side we already modeled. As you can see, those two objects in there, that thing that comes out, yeah, that edge. And this is the other side, which is a little bit different. We have some bolts in there and that thing in there. So let's get started. Control 1, and we're gonna use another object as well for this side. So first I'm gonna add a cube, which I'm gonna scale down along Z. I need to take this one out. Control 1, Control numpad 1 in fact, and scale along X. Okay, and as you can see, this comes till about there and there to the end. So in here I'm gonna snap it and just take those two vertices in. Could even take those two in just a little bit. And on the other side, gonna take them till about there. It's fine. And yeah, actually this is not here, but it's right here below it, so I got that one wrong. Okay, just undo those things in here, just select all of it and scale 0 along X. Didn't need to do that. Okay, grab along X till about there. Alright, so that is okay. Maybe I'll scale it up just a little bit along X. And now I'm gonna select this whole face and I'm gonna extrude out that curved thing in there. Okay, so I could press 3 for that. Extrude, bring it out just a little bit. Scale it along Y. Okay. And looking from that side, we have another extrusion in here. Okay, now I need to scale this all up because it's larger, it's higher. Okay, now I'm gonna add one loop cut. In fact, I'll just add them both and scale them along Z till about there. Okay, this face in here, oh, I'm having some trouble moving around my 3D display. Okay, just go to face select mode and delete those two faces. Or yeah, I actually started to think that extruding that out wasn't the best idea. Just delete this edge in here. Okay, in fact I'm just gonna delete not quite all of these edges in here, so I separate these into objects. Delete all that edges. Okay, now I can select these ones, make a face in there, make a face in here, and also a face in here. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna add another loop cut rather in the middle. Take this back, and you could take those back as well, just a little bit. Alright, so that's what we have in here. Now I'm gonna delete this interior face. Okay, I don't have an interior face. Right, let me show you. I wanted to delete this face in here, but it seems like we don't have one, so I'm not gonna delete anything. But I'm gonna delete this edge loop and this one as well. Okay, so I'm gonna make a triangle in there, and if we need to unite them, we need some more loop cuts. Triangle in there. Yeah, in fact, we're not even gonna unite them, because I think it's actually better if we leave them as it is. Okay, so something like that. Okay, this is how it looks in there, and we have two more bolts in there, which I'm gonna add them using a circle which I rotate 90 degrees along X. Okay, I could snap this to that vertex in there. Great, now back to our circle. Control numpad 1, bring it right here, snap it in there, and as you can see here, we want one on the both sides, so one will be in here and one will be on the other side. Right, that's how it looks. So I'm gonna make a face, fill up that face in there, maybe bring it in just a little bit so it doesn't come out. Okay, now extrude this quite a bit out, extrude, scale it up, extrude it out just a little bit, and now we're gonna do this cut in here, and we're gonna do that by extruding this again and scale it down, and this circle will be the that cut in there in the middle. Okay, so just select, let's just say, these ones with these ones, delete faces, and I'm gonna delete that face in there. Okay, now I'm gonna select these vertices, extrude them along Y, take them in just a little bit. Alright, now I'm gonna fill up these faces. So just press Alt F, that's fill, and that's a messy fill, so I'm not gonna use that tool. I'm just gonna press F, which is simple fill. I'm gonna delete these edges in here, and we have some we have an end gone in there that has filled our face. Alright, so now we are pretty much done with this part. We just need to add our subdivision surface modifier, maybe bring it up to 2, select smooth subdivision, and we're gonna fix these things in here first. We have some things we need to fix. First, the smoothness in here. 1. Yeah, we need to add a loop cut in here because that's too smooth. It also added for the other side. And 1 loop cut in here. We need 1 in here and 1 in here as well. And also we need 1 in here where we have our edge that sticks out. Okay, now I'm gonna add 1 for this cylinder. Yeah, 1 in here, 1 in here, and also I need in here 1. Okay, now another 1 in here to fix that edge, and another 1 in here. A horizontal one. Maybe 2 in here. So that looks a lot smoother than it looked in the first time. Okay, I'm just gonna select this object, this face in here. Yeah, from that object, and I'm gonna delete it, delete faces, so that doesn't round up anymore, doesn't get surrounded in there. Okay, I need some loop cuts for this cube because there's just a simple cube in there. Okay, and I think I can make 3. I can in fact make this thicker than it currently is. So I'm gonna grab this in a little bit, something like this. Okay, now I need to vertical loops in here, scale them along X. Okay, as I was looking, I need 1 in here. So there are quite some loop cuts for this particular mesh. Okay, it's like maybe I went a little bit too much in there. This one needs to round up just a little bit, and maybe in here as well. Alright, so another object to fix is this one. And as you can see, that added only for the back, as in front we don't have such nice mesh. Okay, so one thing I'll do, I'll just Subdivide this, join those two together. So now I can subdivide this again and join those two. I'm gonna do the same thing in here. Join those two, subdivide and join these two. Okay, and it's still not so round, so I'm gonna add an I can't add a loop cut. Just gonna subdivide this, join it, subdivide, join, and just take this up. Seems doesn't work, so I'm gonna slide this up a little bit so it will get sharper in there. Okay, and that's almost nice, but I need a loop cut in here and in here. And this is a little bit too round. Okay, so that's better now. That's good. Now I'm gonna duplicate this object in here and place it right there at the end. Alright, now in here I need to add a loop cut in here, and that looks really ugly in there. Okay, let's take a look in here. Yeah, we have this edge in here, and in there we have an empty face, so we're just gonna delete our face in there, and in fact, yeah, I'm gonna have a triangle in here. Fill these faces in here, fill that face, and maybe you could just scale them down, so something like that. Yeah. Oh, it seems like I don't need to scale it down because it looks fine as it is. I just need to fill these empty faces in here. Okay, this. Okay, first I'm gonna add the loop cut, one in here and one for the other side. Now I'm gonna do some modeling in here because it doesn't actually look so nice. Alright, that's too sharp in there. Okay, so I need to, let's see, scale them down, scale them out, and it doesn't smooth it out so well. I guess we take that just too far. Okay, we also need to extrude yeah, sorry, we need to extrude this part in here. Control numpad 1. So extrude that, and you need to scale it down so those vertices won't come one on top of the other. Okay, in fact, I'm just gonna take a look and see what we have in here. Yeah, in there is an edge that sticks out, and that's not good. We haven't filled this face properly. Okay, so now it's okay. Now everything is alright. Okay, great. I'm gonna duplicate this object, Shift D, move it to the other side, and I don't think we actually need to do more on this. It looks fine as it is. And now we have finished all our pieces, so I'm gonna unhide them by pressing Alt H, and this part is on the second layer, so I'm gonna activate my second layer, and I'm gonna start arranging all of this stuff together. Okay, so let's just do that first. I want to take this object in here, yeah, like right in there, 3, or control numpad 3, and as you can see I need to scale this down, so just scale shift which is shift X, and scale it down till it fits the barrel. So it would be something like this. Okay, so you put that in there. Now I'm gonna select that with this one, and make sure the barrel is the last one, and I'm gonna parent them, set parent to object, so when I move this, those two move together with it, so I can move them a little bit better. Alright, let's take all the pieces and bring them in there. Okay, I'm gonna start with this object, the reloader. I'm gonna take the origin to geometry, so it's a little bit easier. Okay, just rotate this a little bit, and as you can see it doesn't fit in there so well, so I'm gonna scale it down a little bit. Also I'm gonna scale it up just a little bit along X. Okay, so that fits a little bit better now. Okay, so let's start bringing these pieces and together and make our scene. You need to rotate this 180 degrees like that, and this one comes inside, as I was saying, something like that. You need to rotate this 180 degrees as well, along Z, of course. And this one comes in here. Okay, so because we modeled it after our after this piece, it looks almost nice, almost perfect. So I just need to take this down just a little bit so they won't come over that. And perhaps even scale this down along Y, not so much, just a little bit. Alright, now we're gonna take 3. Take all of that vertices, scale them along Y, out. Alright, that is fine in there. And in here it's too long. So I'm just gonna select those in there. Okay. As you can see, these are the parts I have selected, and just bring them in. Let's enable our proportional editing for this. So just press O for that. Gonna bring them in. Actually, I'm gonna have a view from the other side. Bring them in. Okay. Gonna bring this one in. Disabling my subdivision. Disabling my proportional editing with the O key. Great, now I need to take this out, maybe just a little bit. Good, something like that. Now I need to fit this in here. Yeah, sorry. So for the moment I'll hide this part, just hide it, so we won't accidentally select it. Okay, select all of that. 3, scale it out. Okay, deselect that, scale it out all except Z. Okay, that should be better. Again, scale it all except Z. And yeah, scale along Y. Just like that. Yeah, till about here, cause we're gonna deselect these bottom ones right now. And now scale along Y. Okay, deselect those ones. Scale along Y. And also that. Yeah, that's how you fit that in there, but if you want to look a little bit nicer, you could take this one inward, and you could take this one in, but I'm just gonna leave them as they are for the moment and concentrate on this thing in here. As I was saying, this comes out in here, so let's just see if it fits correctly in there. And yeah, we modeled it in fact almost perfectly. Perhaps we need a loop cut in here to look a little bit nicer. And yeah, that's perfectly. It looks great. Okay, now next we have this piece in here, which we're gonna rotate as well 180 degrees. Okay, this is on the back, meaning in here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. Alright, we have this that in there that should not stick out. Just gonna take it in so it doesn't stick out in there. Great. Now I can place this right in here. Grab a long X. Grab a long X, not scale. Yes, I did in there. Okay, let's check right here the length. It's a little bit too long, so I'm gonna tab into edit mode, select all this part in here and take it to the front. Now I have my reference, and that should be a little bit to the right, so I need to bring this in here to the right as well. So just a little bit. Okay, and you could just press Alt H to unhide that if you want. Alright, now tab and bring this as well. Okay, that's fine in there. It looks nice. Now let's continue with our pieces. I'm gonna take this one, which we're gonna rotate along Z as well, 180 degrees. Most of them were rotated in here. And we need to take this so it would fit in there. Let's take a look at the reference. We have that one in there and another one. So these two. This subject binds this with this one. So that one is binded by this one in here, which needs rotation 180 degrees, and it's quite big. Take that in there. Alright. And in fact, these ones need to come out just a little bit. Take that one in there. That one that overlaps in there, so it wouldn't look correctly on the real world. Okay, so to correct this, I'll just take all of this part and just take it down along Z a little bit, so it won't trouble us. And if I did this, I'm gonna add a loop cut in here to smooth that, and one in here. Alright, now I need to fill this face in here. Although it's not round, it looks okay. Okay, so that fits in there. As you can see, you can see through it. Maybe just scale down just a little bit more. Control Z. Control G. and take it down. Yeah, I think we need to go into edit mode and scale these two down. So now we can take this down a little bit. Slightly. This one will come up. Alright, and yeah, it should look nice. Now we're gonna take this object in here and let's take a look at our reference image. Is thicker in here and smaller in there, so it should be thicker in here, so I need to rotate this one as well. Alright, great, let's fit it in there. Alright, awesome. Need to fill this face again. So I've pressed Ctrl Z and undid that. Alright, so apart from the fact that we need to take this into the front just a little bit, we just need to fill up this face in here. So we have applied a mirror to there. So the way I'm gonna fill this face is I'll select that loop in there, but only those one that are right there on the front, and I'm gonna extrude it and take them all in as much as possible. Okay, so just grabbing them in there because we have our merge and clipping selected. If you don't have them selected, just select it. Okay, so we fill that in there, and pretty much this is our gun, our weapon. It's finished. There's the bullet. You can do it with whatever you want. Okay, now another thing I will do is I'll just add an empty, let's just say plain axis or whatever empty you want, and I'll select all of them, all of those, and the empty last, and Ctrl P, parent. Alright, Ctrl Z, that one as well, and the empty last, Ctrl P, parent. Okay, first I just gonna select these in here, and I'm gonna apply the location. Yeah, let's check if it works now. Control P, parent. Okay, this one keeps snapping. So I'm gonna, where is it? Yeah, in fact I'm not gonna select this one and this one. Just gonna select the rest of them. Okay, select the empty and then parent them. So now everything is fine because those two objects were parented to this one, so that was the problem. Okay, so now when I move the empty, I can move, I forgot one piece in here. Okay, when I move the empty, I move all of the weapons, so I don't need to manually select all the parts in there every time. Okay, so pretty much this is the tutorial. I hope you liked it. This is the final model. I'm gonna put a link below so you can download this file if you want that. And yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.